Hello, I'm Judy Bullymore. In this video, I'm going to take you through the first step of the interview story impression technique because there's two sections to the actual technique. The first bit is what you do before you answer the question. So the thing that you spend time doing in your head to get it all together so that you can answer in a really, really strong way. So I'm going to take you through the first bit, the things that you do in your mind before you actually answer the question. So hopefully you'll find it helpful. So step number one, before you answer the question, is to understand the why. This is one of the biggest things and one of the most common things that people don't do when they are answering interview questions. Now, there's a reason why they have chosen that question to ask you. In an interview, all the interviewer really has are their questions. And depending on how many people they're going to interview that day, they need to be able to get as much as they need within the time that they have allotted for the candidates that have been shortlisted. So there might not be loads and loads of questions, but within those questions, they're trying to pack as much of the punch that they need to decipher amongst all the candidates that they've shortlisted who is the strongest and who is the right fit for their organisation. Therefore, the questions are really loaded and there's always a meaning behind why they have chosen that particular question. And one thing that I really want to stress is the question isn't always what it seems. And if you can understand how to decipher the why, you will be able to answer it in a really, really good way. So when they ask you the question, understand why they have asked it. So something like, tell me your strengths, or why did you apply for this role? On the face of it, it seems like they just want to know why you've applied for the role, or they might just want to know what your strengths are. But really, they're in that question, they're trying to work out, are you the right fit for our organisation? Do you have the skills and experience that we need? Do you have the right personality for this job? Do you have the passion for this job? Now, they haven't asked you that in that question, but if you can answer some of those things, then it's going to be a much stronger answer than it would be if you just simply listed some of your strengths or listed some of the things that you've applied for the job for. So hopefully that makes sense. Give yourself a few seconds to understand the why. Once you've understood that, that will help you to understand which example to choose. So the second part of the interview story impression technique before you've answered the question is to work out, okay, I understand why they've asked me this question. Secondly, what example or what experience shall I share that's going to not only put me forward as a really strong, memorable candidate that has it all, but is going to answer their question and give them what they need. So when you're choosing that really strong best example, you want to be choosing ones that have really strong, tangible results, ones that had a clear, positive impact, whether that be increased sales, increased customer satisfaction, whether it won an award, whether it solved a problem, overcame a challenge, something that you can clearly say that when I did this, this happened. And the thing that happened was really impressive. So secondly, choose a really strong example. And then finally, before you open your mouth and answer the question, picture yourself in that example, immerse yourself in that example. Now, in all of your examples, when you think about them, it's likely that you'll have a strong visual image that comes to mind, or a feeling or a thought, which should hopefully take you back to that time when you achieved that result, or when you experienced whatever it is that you think is a really good match for talking about how you can answer this question. Now, I want to say something, and it's something that you really do have at your disposal. And that is, you can control what the interview panel or the employer or the interviewers see, think, and feel. You are a puppet master. You are in control. So if you want them to think of you as a strong, impressive person who can do this job, then you just need to make sure that you're choosing an example and talking about it in a strong, impressive, memorable way. So if you can visualize and immerse yourself and take yourself back to the time when you was in this example, by giving yourself time to do that, when you talk about it, you're going to be talking from memory, and you're going to be talking through the feelings that you had at the time. And it's so much more easier to connect with somebody when you're talking authentically and you're sharing a moment. It's going to be much more easier for you to bring this example to life if you can remember what you saw, how you felt, who was around you, what was the good thing about it, what was the really important thing that allowed you to achieve the result. Your answers will be packed with more words, with more kind of memories, if you can just immerse yourself into that time. Very often people interview and it sounds so factual. It sounds like, it's day in the life in the office. But really what you want is to talk about yourself in a way that's really impressive and allows the interviewer to connect with you, because connection is everything. So before you answer the question, understand the why, choose the best example, and just give yourself a few seconds to just remember the time when you was in this example. What did you see? What did you feel? What did you hear? And just give yourself a few seconds to immerse yourself in it. And then you are ready to answer the question.